Welcome to the Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva, and today we're going to get some insight into track and field and cross country. My guest today is Mike Holloway, and he is the head men's and women's track and field coach and cross country coach for the University of Florida. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anthony.
So usually I start my guests where they went to college. So where'd you go to school?
I'm a Florida grad. I tell people all the time that it's just more than just a job for me. I'm a Gator, through and through.
Oh, fantastic. So let's just go back a little bit before we get into today. High school, when did you start thinking about going to college? Was it freshman year of college, senior year? When did it all begin for you?
My high school track coach, Ed Stone, was actually an assistant at my high school, and he came to start coaching us my junior year in high school. And probably then is when he started talking to me about it, is when I started thinking about it a little bit. Okay.
So was University of Florida your only school, or did you have many schools? Were you a track runner back then?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I came down to visit. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and we ran out of coal to heat our schools back then. Came down here to train while it was so cold up in Ohio, and ended up meeting Coach Brooks Johnson, who was at Santa Fe Community College. So I came down here and actually attended Santa Fe Community College first. Went there, stopped, started working in the community, and then I started working. And then I came back to the university to get my degree, and then I got hired here, and it's been a wonderful ride so far.
All right, so let's just go into University of Florida. When you went to school there, did you run track there?
No, I did not. I ran track at Santa Fe Community College. When I came here, I didn't start school here until, the 2000.
Okay.
And when I started coaching. I started coaching here in '95. I started school here in the '90s, like '93.
Okay.
So I took a break from school and just was working and married and children and all that kind of stuff, and then went back to school. And when I came back to school here, I actually got hired as an assistant coach while I was getting my degree.
So you got your degree at University of Florida and coached at University of Florida at the same time?
Yes, sir.
All right. So is this your only job once you graduated as well?
Yep. I've been here for, like I said, 25 years. This started next week on the 28th will be the start of my 25th year here.
Wow. Fantastic. Yep. All right, so let's get into track and field and cross country.
Okay.
How do you look for kids? What type of kids are you looking for to run track and cross country at University of Florida?
Well, one of the biggest things we look for is passion. We want people that are serious about this. We take what we do here very seriously. I want people that want to get education. Everybody says they want to be a professional. Everybody wants to go to the Olympics. And unfortunately, that just doesn't work out that well for everybody. I like to say I grow grown people here. If you come here, you're going to get a degree and we'll go out in the real world and get a job. That's the most important focus for me. So obviously, they need to be athletic and be able to help the program. But if they're good athletes, good students, and good people, we'll go anywhere and everywhere to get people like that to come to University of Florida.
Okay, and do you go all over the country to find these kids, or do you just go to specific places to find them?
All over the world.
Wow.
With the internet and those kind of tools that you have now, it's easy to contact kids. It's easy to get videos on them. It's easy to contact coaches and find out what their character and stuff like that. So we have athletes from all over the world on our team.
Now, do you find majority of the kids are doing just high school track and cross country, or do you find kids doing outside cross country as well, or track?
We have some athletes that do summer track. Cross country is usually pretty selective as far as being with the high school, but we have athletes that do summer track as well.
Okay, and do you go to the high schools? Florida is a hotbed for track. I'm assuming, as well as other parts of the country. do you go to the high schools and see the track meets and the cross country meets?
We go to track meets, we go to cross country meets, we go watch them practice. Again, the beauty of what we have these days as far as electronics, you can actually go to certain websites and watch the track meets online.
Wow.
That's
Now,
pretty good.
everything is based on time in track and field and cross country. What are some of the times that you need to even think about going to a Division I school like University of Florida?
Well, it depends on the school, to be honest. And another thing that's just dependent upon is, what that coach or that school is looking for. Here, we have some standards that are up on our website that people can go look at. It's at FloridaGators.com, and then go to the track and field page, and our standards are up there. But I think the biggest thing when you're looking at a school is look to see what conference they're in, how competitive the conference is, and then also make sure that your skill set fits the needs of the school you're looking for.
Okay.
You're looking in.
And do you go all over you said you go all over the world. Is there certain pockets that you find more track runners and cross-country runners than others?
No, not really. Not really. I think, again, it's cyclical. Like you did, like a couple of years ago, about 6 years ago, there were 3 very good quarter milers right here in the state of Florida. In the next year, there might be 3 in Texas or 3 in California, or we have a young man on our team from Denmark. So it just depends on what our needs are. It depends on what's available actually.
So what are some of the events at the college level for track and field and cross country? What's the mileage in cross country? What's the events that you run in track and field and at the college level?
In cross country, the women run 6,000 meters, the men run 10,000 meters. On the track, there's actually 21 events. So anything from the 100 up to the 10K, you long jump, triple jump, high jump, shot put, discus, javelin, pole vault. So a lot of opportunities as far as different events that they can participate in.
And how many students are on the track team or cross country team at the college level?
Here at the University of Florida, right now, we've got about 90 athletes total, about 46 men and 44 women.
Wow.
We have a pretty large squad. There's other teams that may have over 100 sometimes. So.
Okay. And what's the difference that students could see from Division I to Division III? Could you give a sense of what you're looking at compared, Division I, Division II, and Division III?
The biggest difference between those is, resources, scholarship money, facilities, the ability, we have a great Office of Student Life here. It's called our Hawkins Center, where it's just a center just designed to help our academic center. So I think the biggest difference is obviously we have things here because we have a little bit more resources money-wise than some of the other Division I or Division II or Division III schools have. So, but the thing that people have to understand is you can still get a great education, because education, in my opinion, is what you put into it. Mm-hmm. And also, there's a lot of great coaches at the Division II and the Division III level. Division III doesn't give scholarships, so if you go there, you have to pay.
Now, are the events the same, though, when you do Division I, II, and III?
Yes, events don't change at all.
So you're all going to the same type of events? Are you all going to a particular event at the college level?
We compete in different national championships. There's a Division I Nationals, Division II Nationals, Division III Nationals, so we don't compete against each other at the national championship level. But during the season, you might have a Division II or Division II have the same meets with Division I. That happens all the time.
Really? So give me a sense of a year when a student athlete comes to University of Florida. When do they start school? When does cross country start for them? When does track and field start for them? Give me a whole year from August all the way through till the following August. If I'm a freshman that's coming in.
School starts next week, so the freshmen are starting to trickle in this week for meetings and physicals and stuff like that. And we start school next Tuesday, and then our fall training goes until Christmas time. They'll get a break at Thanksgiving. We start competing. Cross country will actually have a meet at the end of the month on the 30th, so they'll have a meet like 10 days after we start school.
Wow.
Country ends in November, Indoor track starts up in January and goes until March, and then the week after outdoor track starts, and that goes until usually the first or second week in June.
Wow. So then from the second week in June until the end of August, they're pretty much on their own and doing whatever they need to do.
They workouts then with our strength and conditioning staff. We just can't be involved in those workouts. And then we have some athletes that qualify for international championships or national championships. So we have to help get ready for that as well.
Gotcha. Now, what are the practices like? What can a student expect when he comes to your school? What can they expect in practices? How many meets are there during the season?
I mean, we don't run that much. I mean, we might run 5 or 6 meets during the indoor season, 5 or 6 outdoors, and that includes our conference and national championships. So like 3 or 4 regular season meets, and then practices. It just depends on the event area. Like we're not allowed to have practice more than 4 hours a day. So, and we have a very hard time getting to that. So, but actually, I'm sorry, it's 3 hours a day. But again, it just depends on the day. There's days where practice might last an hour. Some days it might last 30 minutes, and other days it might last 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're working on just their speed, their agility, because I mean it could be anything.
It could be anything. Just depends on the day.
And the students that you have, you said 45 students for men and 44 for women.
Mm-hmm.
So with that many students doing track and field and doing cross country, how many events does usually a typical student do in college?
It depends on the athlete and what their skill set is. Generally, there are one or two events is usually what they participate in. You have some athletes that are a little more versatile. We had a young man last year that participated in sprints, hurdles, and jumps and relays. And then you have some people that like this. We have a guy that specializes in the hammer throw. So it just depends on the athlete's skill set.
Okay. And I'm assuming the size of the student dictates what type of events they're gonna do as well. So
no, not like you got some on our team right now. We've got in our sprint group we've got a guy that's 5'4". I'm sorry, he's 5'6", and another guy that's 6'2", and the 6'2" guy runs 997, and the 5'6" guy runs 1002. So
wow.
Size doesn't really dictate. It's more of a skill set that takes place most of the time.
And so how about the grades for the students? What type of grades do students need to go to a school like University of Florida?
There's the NCAA has their academic scale, and if they meet the NCAA requirements, we can get them in school here. As an athlete, it's a little tougher to get in without being an athlete. But if you're a good athlete and you have the basic skill set of the rules governed by the NCAA, we can get.
Now, at the university level, I know Division I schools give out scholarships. How many scholarships are there? Is it a fully funded sport where everybody gets a scholarship, or is it something like baseball where they don't give out a full scholarship?
We're limited to the men are allowed to have 12.6 scholarships, and the women get 18. So we can break those scholarships up. Football and basketball, everybody gets a full scholarship, but we have to give parcels, or we wouldn't be able to fill it.
I gotcha. So parents that are looking at university and helping on the money side, would you say the school tries in any which way to help them as much as possible?
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously, scholarships are going to be based on your skill set as well.
Okay, so now give me a sense of the atmosphere at University of Florida. If I'm a freshman coming in, what can I expect going to University of Florida?
Well, I mean, we think we have a great atmosphere here. We care a lot about our students, not just from the athlete part of it, but the academics piece is the most important part. And we have the pieces in place here to make sure that they're going to be successful academically. The athletic community here is very close-knit, and we look after and take care of each other. The team here at the University of Florida, the track team is very close-knit as well. So I preach and try to promote an atmosphere of family. And so we don't ever want to see anybody feeling like they're just out on an island by themselves.
Great. So that's one big thing that parents have, and they always ask about is about all about the sport and not about academics. What's your take on that? What things do the University of Florida do to help the student in academics?
Well, we provide tutors, we provide mentors, we provide, all this, we're not going to do anybody's work for them, but we do provide them with tools to help them with their work and make sure that they get a great academic experience here. As I said earlier, everybody thinks they're going pro. Doesn't usually work out that way. And so my big thing with all the student athletes that come here and work with me is that you need to understand that, our number one goal is to get an education and become a viable part of society. Because everybody's not going to be an Olympian and everybody's not going to go pro and make a living in track.
So now that leads up to my next question. How many students do come to University of Florida and end up going to the Olympics or international meets, or is there a good many students that do that?
We've had a pretty good success rate. I think as of last week, there's at least 12 to 15 university current or former athletes that'll be participating in the World Championships this summer.
Wow.
So we've got a pretty good success rate as far as sending people onto the Olympic World Championships.
Now, what does it take to get to that level? What do they have to run at the college level to get noticed for the Olympics or international?
Though that's like something that's hard to say. Like you have to be one of the best athletes in the world, basically. It starts with being one of the best athletes here in the U.S. If you're United States, if you're from another country, you have to be one of the best athletes there. There's standards you have to meet at the Olympic or World Championship level. But typically, if you're one of the better athletes at the SEC meet or better athletes at the NCAA level, then you're pretty good internationally.
Wow. Now, how about alumni and networking at the University of Florida? What type of things can a student look for in that with networking or the alumni that are at the school?
Our alumni network is very strong. We have alumni in over 150 countries around the world. And here in the United States, anywhere you go, there's a Gator Club. It seems like everywhere we go. So
wow.
The alumni here is very, very strong.
Wow. So give me a sense of how you're looking at recruiting as part of the whole country. I mean, is there particular events that you go to watch kids run?
No, obviously there's the high school national meets. There's the indoor meet up in New York. There's the outdoor meet that they hold over in North Carolina. They have the AAU, the Junior Olympics and stuff like that we go to and we watch videos of and stuff like that. But, we don't sit down at the beginning and go, we have to go to this event or have to go to that event. What we try to do is identify the athletes that we want to recruit for that year and then find out where they're going to be and we go watch them wherever they are.
Gotcha. And so is there a pool of athletes that you just look at based off of schooling that they've had in the past that you've come to the school? We kind of follow their high school careers. There's a high school list that comes out every year. I try to identify athletes when they're like younger, when they're sophomores, and start kind of tracking them and to see how they can continue to improve. Gotcha.
So kind of that aspect.
Gotcha. And then the internet helps you based on film. Do you watch the whole meet, or do you watch just portions?
So it just depends on, like, sometimes we'll watch the whole meet, or sometimes we'll just, figure out when an athlete's going to be running and we'll, tune in and watch that. But if we get on a plane and go to a competition, we're just not going to go there and watch one athlete. We'll go there to watch that athlete, but we'll watch the rest of the meet as well. Gotcha.
Now, how about film? A lot of parents talk about, well, I have to get film to the coach somehow. Does film have...
that sometimes, but like I said, a lot of times if they've been to some of the bigger meets, the film's available. But I think it's big if parents do have good film. We get a lot of film where the camera's jumping all over the place, but quality film that we can look at and get something off of. We're always glad to accept that for sure.
Now, do they give you film based on the amount of minutes? Is it like a 2-minute film? Is it a whole meet's worth of film? Is hours?
All we just want is a clip of the athlete performing. We don't want to see the whole meet. If you're going to send me if you have a son or daughter, you want to send me a video on they're running the 400, send me their 400-meter race. I don't need to see the whole meet. Just their performances on.
Now, do you look for a certain way that they run, a stance, a particular?
I look at movement skills. I look for athleticism. I like the young man or young lady that's running pretty well, that has some mechanics they can improve on. I like the young man or young lady that hasn't, that I like to say is an infant in the sport that's been running for a couple of years. They have a better upside.
Yeah. So now, the money-wise at the university, what are some of the things that the university offers other than just scholarship? Is there merit money, academic money, things of that sort as well?
There are, though they're pretty hard to get here. You have to be a very, very good student to get some of that stuff. But I mean, it's just like any other school. There's you go to our website and there's places you can apply for scholarships, merit scholarships, stuff like that.
And do they fill out any forms on your website as well? Is there any prospect forms or things of that sort?
Yeah, the athlete questionnaire is on the FloridaGators.com under track and field. It's under there as well.
Okay, so everybody can just go to the website and apply of whatever they're looking for.
Yeah, they can go to the website and the athletics website has all the sports and all the questionnaires on there for different sports. And then if you go to our main website, then all the academic stuff is answered on there.
And you said how many events altogether in the fall and in the winter and in the spring? How many events are they doing?
Well, during the cross country season, the women have a race. They run 6,000 meters, and men run 10. During the indoor season, I think there's 17 events offered for the indoor championships, and outdoors there's 21. Okay.
And now, are you traveling the whole country when you're doing this?
No, we're selective. We know where some of the better meets are, better competitions are. So we usually try to target those. Indoors, it's more about qualifying times to get to the championships. So we have to go places where there's good competition and good tracks, so we can run fast and jump far and road and all that stuff. And then outdoors, it's more head to head. So we just have to be ready at the end of the season to be able to line up and beat the other competitors.
Now, do you find that a lot of schools from the northern part of America come down to Florida and all that in the wintertime?
During the early spring. During the wintertime, everybody's running indoors. But during the spring, the early spring, when it's still a little chilly up north, they'll come down here. But by the time it gets to be late April and May, they're fine so that we don't see them.
And then you start traveling up there?
No, not really. We're used to the heat.
You're used to the heat. Is that something that has to worry about the students as well?
Yeah, no, we have to get acclimated to it. We do.
So, what type of heat do students go through when they're starting out, when they're practicing? Do you see any things that students tend to go through when it's extremely hot out?
Somebody's from up north, they're not as used to the heat as somebody that's from down here, and we just have to watch them carefully, make sure they hydrate well, and we're just very careful with them.
Great. So we're coming to the end of our show, and usually I ask my guests, what advice do you want to give to the parents and the sons and daughters that want to come to a school like University of Florida? What advice do you want to give to them?
First thing is take care of your academics. No matter how good of an athlete you are, if you're not academically sound, you're not going to come to University of Florida or any other, big school. The other thing is understand that, for every one of you, there's another 100 people out there that have the same goals and dreams you have. The question is, how hard are you going to work to distance yourself from that other 100 people? Because that's something that a lot of people don't get, is that, hey, I want to be at the University of Florida, but there's a lot of people that want to be there also. So what are you going to do to make yourself more valuable to the person that's standing next to you?
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, man. You guys have a blessed day.
Yeah. So you've been watching The Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva. Until next time.